right? You fill the school with toilet paper. You're like, that was a lot of fun. Why was it fun? Because you broke the rules. You feel I'm more powerful than my teacher. So you keep on doing more and more of this stuff, right? Then you may be like, hey, let's go to the store and steal a candy. That candy may cost $1, nothing, right? But you try it and you are terrified. You're seized by doubt. You're seized by fear. Sorry, so this is the sound that tells us that we should go on break, but again, we don't go on break in this class, okay? So I apologize. We're not taking a break. We keep on going, okay? But that's what the sound is. Okay, so you're terrified because your mother, your teachers, everyone told you stealing is bad, right? But when you actually go and do it, how do you feel? You feel energized. You feel liberated. You feel empowered. And if your friends were with you, the friendship becomes much more unified, much more cohesive, much more synchronized. Does that make sense? And now you want to like, let's break more rules. Let's see what happens if we break more and more rules. And you keep on going because it's addictive. And ultimately, there's a transgression that is the ultimate taboo, which is what? You guys know? Yeah, right? This. Right? Can you think of a more worse transgression than this? That's why they do it. Because it feels empowering. It releases energy. They do it because they believe that when you do this, it releases divine energy. And when you actually do it, okay? Guys, I'm not telling you to go do this, okay? Please do not do this. Okay? And please remember, okay? This is evil. We should not be doing this. But when you actually go and do it, those who can do it, they feel as though they are now inundated. That now they are now filled with divine energy. They found the secret of the universe. They found the ultimate power in the world. Another transgression, which is not as bad, but pretty bad, is the idea of incest, right? And there are secret societies out there, guys, that do this. And you know what, guys? I hate to tell you this, okay? But they do it in public in front of everyone else because that creates both group unity, synchronicity, and it releases in their minds divine energy. They have now access to God. If you want to know what secret societies do, well, yeah, this and this, okay? And again, this is only a small group of people. But now we know why these people control the world. Because they're able to keep secrets. Because they're more motivated than everyone else. And they're able to work together in a way that allows them to achieve ultimate power. These leaders you see, right? These leaders you see, they are puppets. They are just the face. The real power are these secret societies that practice these rituals. And again, I'm not saying this is the truth. I'm just saying this is a possible theory about how the world works, right? Because this is a class of speculation. It's a class of theory. Don't think this is the truth, okay? But you can think about how this works and ask yourself, does it explain the world? Okay? All right. So having explained this, what I want to do now is go into the deep theory as to why this is happening. Okay? So if you talk to these people and they're honest with you, they'll tell you that when we do this, we access God and God gives us divine power because they're superstitious and they're stupid. Okay? Just because they're the elite, just because they're powerful people does not mean they're clever. In fact, they're kind of stupid if you actually meet them. All right? But I'm going to explain how this system works. And when I explain it to you, it will make sense. Okay, but are we clear so far about what's happening, guys? All right? I know this is disturbing, and I know I'll probably get banned on YouTube for this, but it's important that we do this, okay? All right, so now I'll explain the theory as to why this is happening. How is it transgression is able to unleash divine energy? Okay, so Kant. We will look at some major thinkers, and they're really deep thinkers, and we'll go more into them this semester, but I'm going to introduce them, okay? So Kant. Remember from the first class, Kant had a theory of how the world works. There is no objective reality that we see, okay? So before, the assumption was that we just absorb reality, okay? But Kant says that we are active. Sorry, we'll wait for this. So Kant says that we are active participants in reality. How? Well, because our brains are filters. We add space and time to reality. Space and time does not exist outside of us, okay? So the objective reality is called noumena, okay? The things in themselves. Do not worry about these names, but this is the objective reality. What happens is that for our filters, we interact with the noumena, and that creates something called the phenomena. The things that we see, the phenomena, okay? And that's the world we know. The noumena we can never ever know. That's the theory of Kant, okay? And this has been confirmed by neuroscience. So this is basically the most accurate model of the world that we have. The problem, though, is that Kant's conception of the world creates three questions, okay? The first question is, what is a noumena? Kant says we can never know it, but we still want to know it, okay? That's the first question. Second question then is, who gave us these filters, right? Where do our filters come from? How do our minds work, and who created our minds in the first place? That's the second question. The third question is, if we are all seeing the world for our own lens, how do we know that we're seeing the same world? How do our perception of the world align together? Okay? So Kant creates these problems. Hegel, who comes after Kant, Friedrich Hegel, by the way, he proposes a solution to these three problems. And what he says is this.